live for our monthly social and recreation committee meeting. Thank you all for coming out today and helping us with what's going to be the last minute stuff for our summer pool party and barbecue. And we'll also discuss the other projects that we touched on last time that we are making progress on, which is going to be the top lot, possible rec area for the community, and our gym enhancement. But today's focus really is going to be on the party, considering it's coming up in 2 days. So that's exciting, and I think we've done a ton of great work getting to where we are now. Just a matter of tidying up loose ends and feeling confident leaving today and going into Saturday. So at any point you have a question, just go ahead and ask me. Let's go from there. All right. Let's go ahead and start with the committee member roll call. So as of right now, sitting to my right, we've got Michael and Lorraine, Brian, we have Linda, and Tara, and Dottie. I think I got her. All right, and Danny. So we'll go ahead and start with our first open item. That is our summer pool party and barbecue. Everybody has a sheet, right? Okay. So what I want to do is just go over our checklist of everything that we're collecting and needing for that day. The room here is actually unlocked, so what I want to do is just kind of take a look at that and go over these items, check them off, what we know we have already, things that are still kind of maybe on their way, come tomorrow or Saturday, we'll check on those, but I want to go over this stuff. Also, want to make sure if there's anyone who is bringing, I note that so that we know, whose is what. Okay, so sign-in sheets and pens. I think Courtney's going to help us out with that. She's going to print out those sign-in sheets. But I think that's going to be important because the registration was great. It helped us plan for the food, and we know what to anticipate. But this will give us an idea of who actually comes to the party, and that way we know what we can expect moving forward, right? What actually happened at the party, who actually showed up. I think it's going to be important information to collect.
Do you have a registration number?
No.
Well, we have registration number.
Oh, like the total of who registered? I don't have the current final total, but I know we were over 75, I'm sure.
And that was over 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah, so, and I've already gotten messages, people asking, hey, I sent this to Courtney, I know she's off.
Yeah.
So I got a bunch of those too.
Yeah, because I bought between 140 and 150.
Yeah.
I think that's
the scale that I bought.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
Where's the sign place going to be?
Great question. My thinking is we set up, I have some card tables, but we'll set up a little card table here at the front, and we'll set up one right at the side gate here. So people can sign up either there or there. That way we can catch them on the 2 main entrances.
The other is the other side.
I
I
know.
don't know.
Yeah. I don't want to have, tables all over just for that stuff. So if they end up
Budgie that or something like that, or we just leave it alone?
Just a lot. I mean, we'll remind people at some point, if you haven't signed in for this event, please do so. Gives us an idea of how many people came to it, so we know how to plan for the future. I think people will be fine putting their name on a piece of
Can we
paper.
just do it over the mic once or twice throughout?
Yeah, I think little kind of mic checks on different things going on, like, hey, if you haven't found the bounce house, it's over there. Food's ready over here. Snow cone machine is now live. Like all of those things, that mic is going to come in handy. So.
That's you.
Okay. I think Silvano wanted to get on it too. But
He's good at that stuff.
yeah, Silvano likes that too. And he's the music man, so he has our playlist, I think, prepared. Once we get to that, we'll check that off too. But sign-in sheets, so Courtney will help with that. Grill,
In place.
great. Propane tanks, I brought 2. Yeah, they're actually put them in there. They're ready to go. Cooking gear,
I got it.
cool. All right, so that's all good. Food?
We're good. We got everything we need. Under budget
Great,
by about $200.
That's awesome.
That's good.
fantastic.
I don't know if that'll grow depending on what Courtney says she needs. But,
Okay.
that's good. We got in. Food's all bought, snacks are bought, and the water is bought. Yep, ready to go.
Great. Coolers, I know we have one large one.
Yeah, we now have, I wouldn't say they're large, but I say they're good medium size,
Okay.
big ones. There's 4,
Oh, okay,
2 pull, like boxes, and another 2. But tie that in with ice. We don't have to buy the ice. It's another budget item we can take away because I have a neighbor, Scott. Our neighbor has a 1,000-pound ice machine. So what I need,
just don't say his last name.
It's a neighbor, you have to knock on the door. But I'll need someone to come because of my hand. I had corporal elbow syndrome or whatever surgery yesterday.
Okay.
I can't lift them.
Yeah.
So I've got them in my truck.
Okay.
They'll be ready to go. Someone's got to come to the house and get them ready. We're full. If
I
I
can,
don't want Dottie lifting these things up. I mean, they're
I
gonna
can come to
be,
you.
each one's gonna be like, each one's gonna have about 5 to 10 bags of ice in them.
Yeah.
So that's heavy.
So we had set for everyone to be here an hour before to help set up because majority of the setup's gonna be done by George. Yeah,
I'm
before.
gonna be here at 10. because
Yeah.
I'm talking to George and I've got some cutting to do and things like that.
So you want, like, we can meet here a little
Yeah.
earlier and then we'll ride over to your place and grab the ice and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's fine.
And I'll give you well, I'll be here.
okay,
So the ice is in his house.
okay,
So we'll figure it out. I'll talk to you about that.
okay,
There's a way we get in
okay,
with a combination. I just left that out.
understood.
Okay?
Alright,
But
cool.
ice is taken care of, so that's not a budget item we need. I just
Fantastic.
need help doing it.
Good to know, alright, great. Okay, plates, napkins, utensils,
Courtney says she got them.
you confirm that?
She told me yesterday she got them.
Great. And tables and chairs, I saw in there we've got some tables. I can bring my card tables for the sign up stuff.
Yeah.
And chairs, I know we have extra chairs, but not a lot, correct?
We have some chairs, and we have the chaise lounges and chairs around the tables, etc. out there. How they're situated, we didn't do it because Courtney has in her mind what to do. She's not gonna be here till Saturday morning. So that's gonna be a big deal Saturday morning, get those arranged.
Okay.
Because George has an idea, I have an idea, and Courtney has an idea. And so, and how it flows, whatever, I'd rather she be happy about how it is set up.
Yeah, and I think what I'd like to do
You're gonna
too,
have hands, I mean, just pushing chairs in place.
yeah, I think what would be good is to have one side kind of be the shaded side and one side can be like the sunny side, you know? Because people want to sit out in the sun, they can sit on that side. And we have those canopies, so I think those are going to come in handy for,
We have 2,
we have 3 now.
we have 3
I
now.
brought a third, yeah.
Yeah, well, we were going to go purchase them, but what we went to didn't have them, so we were going to eventually purchase them, which would not be a social committee
Right.
budgeted item, it would be an item for us.
I can bring them too.
Oh, okay, awesome, so we'll have 4.
So,
Okay.
as to position, in the cooking station, I'll be cooking, and then I think you volunteered, and the body volunteered, and some other people volunteered to be like the front people. Okay, so it's gonna be grill, me, and there's a picnic table, probably set up the food there, but I'll probably need a card table over here, okay, and a cooler. I will deal with George with that, because that would be stationed with the burgers and stuff like that,
Cool.
the backup.
Okay.
We've got that in hand.
Okay, great. Okay, so tables, chairs, and I'm actually, I put on the sort of informational sheet and the schedule that I shared with everybody to like bring chairs, because there's gonna be a limited amount.
These chairs. and
Yeah,
stuff.
bring your own beach chairs. If you're listening to this, you know, come with your towels and all that stuff, but if you have an extra chair, come with it too. Yeah, games. So in there I saw one full cornhole set. I brought a smaller version for the kids to use. And I think we'll have a third. I think I just saw Silvana walking up. So we should have a third, and that'll be great. And there's the shaded tree area, which we kind of designated for cornhole. I think that'll be a perfect spot. It'll be shaded the whole time. So if you want to play cornhole, they can play there. Hey, there you are.
The one right behind your thing,
Huh?
right? The one like in front of the pool over there? Trampoline pool?
It's actually where it would be like where you're walking behind the pool towards the tennis courts. There's like a
We
walk.
can walk up there.
Yeah, we can walk it. But I think there's a
What are the other
spot,
games?
It was like kind of shaded at the time.
What are the other games?
The other games are, we have Giant Connect 4.
Across the street.
Yes.
I'm Linda.
We have
Sweet.
Yes.
foam axe throwing. Courtney's bringing that. I thought somebody had mentioned a giant Jenga set, and I cannot remember for the life of me who had.
One of the people in the community, and I have one, not the giant one, but like a medium sized already.
Okay, yeah. So those.
What do you do with horseshoes?
If somebody has a horseshoes, yeah, Courtney I think did mention horseshoe. So yeah, we've got quite a few games. The bounce house I think is going to take up a lot of the kids' attention and energy. I also brought a small little slip and slide. I don't know if that's going to work for the hose setup, but if we need to get like a splitter or something like that, then we got to do that before the party. So maybe we can ask George if we have one already. If not, maybe we just I can run to Home Depot or something and get one. So all right. Does anybody else? Anyone gonna bring a game of some kind that I'm not aware of? No. Okay.
Oh, no lawn darts.
I have another game too, but the challenge with it is that you kind of have to learn it and then play it. It's like a giant paddle ball 4-square court called Shaka Ball, but I'm afraid like people are gonna play it their own way, and it's not gonna be played. And so I don't really care how they play it, but it's pretty large space. So it's imagine like 4-square, but keeping the ball up. All right. So I think we have plenty of games. I'm just gonna check that off. Silvano,
Yes.
did you get a chance to test out the speakers?
Yeah. It's
Awesome.
Yep.
Sweet.
DJ Silvano over here.
DJ
I
Silvano.
probably missed it. So we're set up. Do we need extension cord for that? I have about 150 foot extension cord to plug in because we're gonna need to plug those in.
I think we have those already because I remember
Okay.
they were used for the movie night that was on the courts.
Okay.
So yes, I believe we have that.
Are we gonna set that up back?
It'll be in the covered space. Yeah,
Okay.
back towards this side.
Cool.
And then yeah, if you want it wherever you want to put your phone, that's up to you.
Okay.
Microphone, we have that as well. You
It's on
didn't
there,
have-
yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Sweet. We were talking before you got here about just kind of doing some regular mic checks just to kind of let people know things that are happening in the moment. So
Okay.
if barbecue's ready and going, burgers are ready, we're gonna let people know that stuff. Snow cone machine is active, all those little things. If there's like a car parked on the circle, we can like kind of let people know, please move your car. I'm gonna try and give everyone a heads up on all the things to try and stay away from or not do during that event. In this, I think everyone saw it, but the sheet. So we'll also put that up on the doors. So if anybody has any questions about it, they should be able to see what they can and cannot do, should do.
Should we block the circle
I was
off?
gonna say, should we cone off that since we're gonna have a truck?
It's not a bad idea. I have like small like soccer cones. I don't know if you have larger traffic cones.
I've got the little green guy.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, right.
like,
the sign.
don't play here, whatever. Or
Okay.
kids. I mean, I'm sure people got a couple of those.
Yeah.
We can just throw
Down
right
the
there.
end of our street. I mean, like
Yeah.
on the curve, it seems like stuff.
That would help actually to just once our vendor gets here, block it off so people just
Then
don't.
block it off. You can
That would
park
even
this
before the
way.
vendor gets here, so
Right
nobody
there.
parks there, so you don't
I
have
do
an
it
issue.
before, but have the vendor like park right, the way that no one can get in there, it'll be there.
Right.
Okay, that sounds good to me. All right, we'll play it like
Just
that.
block it off in the morning or beforehand.
Yeah.
Circle driver.
Otherwise, it's gonna be pretty tough chasing everybody down to try to move.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, great. So that's what we'll do. Okay, snow cone machine and the ingredients. I know we have the ingredients. Snow cone machine is going to be coming with the bounce house. That's where we've rented it from, and I believe it's coming tomorrow. Right? That was in the message. So yeah, as long as they're going to be dropping the bounce house off and the snow cone machine tomorrow, so we just have to receive that. I don't know Sarah, I think, right? So
They're gonna wanna set the bounce house up and test it. They like wipe it down and everything. They're gonna do all of that when they drop it off.
yeah, and once they're in, they'll have access to that area, so we're just gonna direct them, I guess, over there, unless they already know that's where they're putting it, but we'll confirm all of that.
But sometimes they'll choose a good spot, but they do ask you.
Okay, so I think, don't know who, will you be around Friday or tomorrow? It's okay if not, I mean, we'll figure it out.
Not in the morning. I couldn't be here in the morning.
Okay,
Be here early afternoon.
I think what we wanna do is wanna have somebody receive them, right? Cause we wanna receive the snow cone machine and get it in there and then direct them
George
to.
will do that too.
That's true, George could do
He's
that.
here tomorrow.
Okay, so we're gonna find a way to have them be in touch with George then, so that he can help them out. Alright, so we'll work that out. Popcorn machine, do we have the popcorn bags?
Yeah.
We do, okay, and then the ingredients as well.
Corey says we got a lots left over from Christmas, so.
Great. Alright, trash receptacles and extra bags,
George,
okay. Do you know if we have?
he has barrels and bags and all that ready to go.
Thanks, George.
I wanted to try and get some door signage up, so just not just my sort of rules thing in the schedule, but maybe just like designate going in that door if you need to go to the bathroom versus coming in the main door. You know, we don't want a lot of foot traffic, especially when you're in and out of the pool. So I think we want to try and shuffle people in one
I
direction.
do have a question though. When we have the vendor here, how are we gonna want to direct people to go? So through this gate? Okay.
Yeah.
At least we got two.
Yeah.
You'll
Okay.
try. You can try.
Yeah.
Can they go through the back gate?
Yeah, they want to. I would say go around the sides. That would be how I would direct people towards the food truck.
Well, I just mean the vendor for the food truck and the ice cream truck, right? If
It's just the ice cream truck.
just ice, okay.
Yeah,
It's the ice cream.
we don't have a food truck.
So we're having everything set up in the back, right?
Mhm.
Would it make sense to have them drive through the back gate over there
He's
and
got
come
a
through
point.
on the grass?
I did think about that. I just didn't know.
You know what I mean? This way you have everything over there rather than, we can keep this for parking, so we don't have to worry even about
That's
parking
not bad.
back
You
here.
don't have to worry about people
And then-
coming through. If we had it like we have like the relay races and Easter hunt and all that stuff over there.
Yeah, and the
So
far
would they
back.
come in through that gate?
Yeah,
That's-
that gate
You
opens
could
up.
open the gate
Trucks
on
now.
Swallowtail.
We can open up with your gate opener.
That's a good
I didn't
idea.
even think about that. That's actually a much better idea.
This way everything is back there, you don't have to worry about anybody being out here, kids out here,
I like it.
traffic, whatever. Everything is in the back.
Yeah.
You
All right, do you wanna
put the
talk-
box-
Yeah, I'll let them know. I mean, I did have that thought. I just didn't. You know, I don't want to be the guy being like, the board's right.
Nice.
Okay.
Sounds like one.
Right.
I mean, Brian, when you had asked, I've only seen trucks on that circle. I've actually never seen them in that
Coming
section
back,
over there.
yeah.
So this would be a good for me just to kind of see it, because I think with new events in the future, we'll see how that plays out. That might actually be
I
the
think
best
it's gonna
one.
be great
Okay,
over there.
cool.
So
All right, excellent.
thank you so much.
Yeah. For your slip and slide, Danny, I've got a large like white tarp, like a clear. If you could either put it before or after, I don't know how long the slip and slide thing is, but we can
It's
if it's
not
usable.
that big. It's not like the adult one where you like go for like
Yeah.
100, 200 feet, but
Okay.
it's a smaller kid size one.
I don't know how much space we have to work with, so
That's what I was thinking too. I thought maybe that would be fun for like little kids who felt there was just too much chaos on the bounce house, and then they
Yeah.
had like a little slip and slide.
yeah.
So I think we'll have plenty. This is going to be a great tester for us to kind of see like, do we have enough? Maybe we were missing some items. You know, we're never going to nail it, but we can improve
Right.
in the future. Okay, so
I just thought the only thing that I think would change us from not having the truck over there, if for some reason the ground was just saturated with rain,
Sure.
you know, then we might have to revert back to the circle.
It's pretty hard pack over there.
Okay.
That much grass.
It's pretty dry,
Yeah,
but
it's very dry.
yeah.
Okay.
If
it's also not like a beautiful landscaped area.
And one day it will be.
I know.
The Olympic complex.
just have to envision it.
Vision. The house that Danny built.
So the door signage, I think Courtney can help us with that. Just kind of arrows directing, please use a side door or side gate or whatever. Okay, pool toys and accessories, I threw that on there. I mentioned that I work with a company that has a warehouse full of this stuff, so I'm gonna bring a couple of little things for kids, that way if they forgot theirs, they can grab and go. I'm gonna bring some pool noodles, things like that, little like, water toys, beach balls. We're gonna wanna restrict, and our lifeguard will help us with this, but restrict the amount of inflatables in the pool at any one time. You got too many of these inflatables, kids underneath, that's a problem, so we're gonna want to probably limit it to whatever looks like there's enough open surface area, and our lifeguard being certified and all will help us with that.
How about things like water guns, squirt guns and stuff like that?
It's gonna be
They're
hard to
cool,
police.
but I don't think
that.
it's good in a thing like this.
I think you're right. It's gonna be a lot of people for there to be just water gun fights going on.
Trenchers.
So what we can do.
Well, I have one, but I'm not buying it.
I can try and add that to my little information sheet there, because I think it's a
Oh,
good
that-
point, but also get on the mic and just say, hey, no water guns allowed at this event, that sort of thing. You're gonna have to be bad,
The lifeguards are for.
No, I know.
How about play?
I'll have the water gun, so it'll be bad. I'll just shoot.
There you go, the one water gun.
Around the pool, I mean, I don't know.
Pistols
If they were out in the field doing that, I don't think it would.
Little pistols full with vodka.
Hey, there you go.
That's a much better point. Maybe if they want to use the water guns, use it by the water slide area, that sort of thing.
They're gonna find their way to the pool.
Or they're gonna fill the water guns up. Is the other question.
Sure, they'll find their way to the pool.
Hopefully not with the lake water.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, hopefully there won't be. Okay.
That's George's job, fully stocked bathrooms.
Yes. Just want to make sure those are ready to go. And then I just have these extras here in case anybody had any other thoughts or ideas, things that I missed
Timing.
of the event.
Starts 12 to 5. I don't know what time, it's 12 to 5, right?
Yes, so you probably didn't see it yet. I put out a little schedule for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I have us, the setup crew, whoever volunteered for that, coming at 11.
Okay,
And from 11 to 12, we're going to help just kind of get all the details set up.
okay.
With George getting some of the big early things going, and you're going to be here early with Courtney and the chair setup, that will all be done. And then 12 o'clock, party begins, barbecue begins, go ahead and just start cooking.
I'm gonna start cooking at 12. You're not gonna walk in and go up and say, oh, I want cheeseburgers. It's
Yeah.
not gonna happen.
Right.
About 30 minutes later, I said, let me get out and get to the area and go play around, do some other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people might not show up right at 12.
Right, it's gonna be staggered anyways.
Yeah.
What's the worst thing you do these things is, because I put on many of them in food concessions, is that you make a bunch, at 11 o'clock, and they sit,
Yeah.
and they become hockey pucks.
Yeah.
It's just hamburgers and hot dogs, but
Now, do we
I
have?
more like by 12:30, it's ready to go.
Are we using those little kind of heater trays or anything like that?
All set.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Chili dishes, ice dishes, we got.
Yeah, so 12 party starts. I have on a schedule then at 1 to 3, Carvel will be here. Right? So we'll work out where he'll be, but he's going to be here between the hours of 1 and 3 p.m.
Okay. So we'll have burgers ready at 12:30, basically.
Yeah, and then at 3 p.m., Carvel will be done, they can leave, and then at that point, I think we should start offering snow cones as the next sort of cold treat, because we'll have that, and it won't impede upon, him being able to serve people ice cream. So 3 to 5, snow cones will be available, and then at
Popcorn at any time, right? That'd be ready to go.
Yeah.
as soon as they're-
that's just going to be snack ready, accessible at all
Where's
times.
the popcorn machine gonna go?
Underneath there.
Yeah, food is just going to be out there.
They see, going to the main doors on one side, gonna be popcorn, the other side gonna be like snow.
But outside?
Yeah,
Okay.
outside.
Well, the humidity is gonna get stale real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how
Well,
the
you-
machine works. Does the machine keep it sort of
Yeah,
fresh? Okay.
it did for Christmas.
The one thing I was questioning was the snow cone machine. I was wondering if we could use this window and just have it kind of going through there versus like sitting outside. But again, this is all an experiment. So we're gonna figure out what works and what doesn't work this time around. And if we have to move, we'll move. You know, adjust accordingly.
Yeah, like when they get a candy cotton machine.
Oh, candy machine?
Cotton, those are easy.
Yeah, maybe we'll host our own little carnival. You can dress up like a clown.
Need an accordion. An accordion on one end, you're all set.
All right, so then 5 p.m. party's over, and at that point we will begin cleanup. And from 5 to 6:37, however long it takes, whoever can assist, please, if you're there and you want to help, we'll take the help. But we've got a good little crew, and we should be able to get everything cleaned up and get on our way.
Yeah, my whole family's gonna have to help, so.
I already told them.
Good,
Yeah, Bob's coming with me.
awesome,
We're
good.
just gonna stop doing what we're doing at 5.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. There's no
The
more.
grill's gonna stop by 4:30.
Yeah,
We're gonna do more than that.
yeah.
And then, but I can tell people they can go and get out of here, because if you're a resident, raise a pool. they can't do
No,
it.
you don't have
We're
to.
just like, we're gonna stop and shut down.
Correct. We're moving snow cone machine out, popcorn, everything is going to be put away. So if they want to hang out at the pool, that's perfectly fine. Okay. Can anyone think of anything else that I might have missed? Okay. Great.
We're not prohibiting adult beverages and some reason beer in a cooler or something like that.
Correct.
That'll be it.
It's going to be
You don't have a sign that says no coolers, that kind of stuff.
on my sheet. I put drink responsibly. That is ultimately what we hope people will do, but this is a family-friendly event, so we'll just bring attention to the fact that this is a family-friendly event. You're welcome to drink, bring your cooler, and have fun, but we want to make sure that we, yeah,
No glass, that's all. There's no glass.
Lots of rules, anyways.
yeah, that's all
I
right.
told that.
Yeah, and I have on there all the clubhouse, pool rules, all of that is as is, before, during, and after the event. So it stays the same, nothing changes there. All right, so one thing that I wanted to do is assess kind of the locations of these things, volunteers, and the equipment. I was hoping we can maybe test out the equipment, but you said you already had done that,
Yeah,
right? So-
yeah, I can set it up as early as need be, and
Great.
wherever we need to set it up. So
Okay, perfect.
that.
So that's good. And I don't think there was ever an issue with the popcorn machine. We're gonna figure out the snow cone machine. Besides that, I don't think there's any other equipment that we have to worry about. So I'm good with that. And then afterwards, what we'll do when the meeting ends, whoever wants to stick around will walk, just to kind of designate what we think are gonna be the areas for what. And I'll even take a look in here, just our inventory of what we have that maybe I didn't really mention or that I haven't checked off, but I think we're good. Like, that's my feeling right now with having everything.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I have to make a small update to the pre-party information sheet, just to, what was it adding? Just forgot.
do you want to put like a designated like golf cart parking area back there? People are
So I'm
gonna come
putting
back.
that on the sheet too, yes, and I believe that area back there
Mhm.
would be the best spot for the golf carts. I think these should only be for cars.
Yeah,
We should put
You can
a little
place that.
spot where we should walk
Like-
in and figure out.
like
where
mark
we
it
put
off
the
for-
truck too. Maybe have that on
Yeah.
Who's gonna police that though? We have somebody out there saying, take the car and bring it back there, or people?
Are we gonna leave the
They
gate
put a little
open?
sign that says no golf carts? That ain't gonna work. People are parking.
Well, we're gonna announce, so
Can
the
we-
my sheet I wanna put out in an email on social media, and we're gonna post it on the doors. So if somebody has their golf cart and they walk up and they see the sign and go, oh, I gotta go move the cart. We'll also announce it on the microphone, so if we're seeing that there are like 3 spots taken up by golf carts and we have a golf cart area, we can ask them to just kindly move the golf cart, you know? We're just gonna have to corral people to understand the way things are working best, and hopefully people will help and accommodate. Yeah.
But people kind of are like at Easter, they automatically take their golf carts back there anyway, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cause everything was there.
Yeah, so we should be able to do that, but I think it's a good idea, maybe we'll set up the cones for wherever you have the truck. Okay, I'll remember what I was gonna, I know what I have to edit on there, but I'll edit that and that will go out. We'll send an email to everybody so that you know in advance what they can expect with the party, the schedule, and all of that stuff, right? Okay. I hate doing this, I don't believe in superstitions, but we should consider if it's gonna be a rainy day.
Just checked, it says 50%.
Yeah.
But it did say
today was supposed to be 90, it didn't rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's Florida. It's like every day.
Right.
Like 2 clouds would be bad.
Yeah, and a little rain, fine, whatever. Ultimately, it's lightning that's going to become the issue because then you've got to get everybody indoors, make sure that they're safe, and then we have to wait the allotted amount of time to go back out. So I put that also on that sheet, but our lifeguard's going to have to help us in that time to, you know,
Get people out.
yeah, and let them sort of guide the protocols of what to do and how long we'll be inside. My only concern would be the amount of people and how many people can we have inside this clubhouse at one point? Or is that not something we should worry about?
But it's also beyond the awning, a lot of people can.
And all the,
Right.
all the wet kids.
Right.
If that happens, a good part of them will just go home too.
That might be the case also.
They'll never need it, not like.
Yeah. I didn't want to leave it off cards.
You know, an event like someplace and they stay there. Yeah, they just go home and come back.
Okay. Well, it's good that we have the microphone speaker system. I'm curious to know how far it can project sound. Like we need to kind of get everyone's attention over by, say, like the bounce house area, if that's possible, or we just send somebody out there to sort of, yeah.
I think we ought to purchase a bullhorn.
I mean, they're pretty loud. I don't know how they are outside. I mean, in my garage they were
Well,
loud.
stationary,
Out in
you
the,
have
inside the
one.
house they were loud. Outside I haven't really tested them, but
I'm not talking about this thing, I think the HOA's gonna buy it.
Wait, are you talking about your own personal speakers?
no,
So you tested out the ones that we.
the ones here, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure. All right.
Yeah.
Because I know they're also on stands, correct? Are they?
I didn't have the stands. I didn't see them. If they're in there, I can grab them.
Are they not?
Maybe they are,
Let me check. George didn't say anything about stands.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll just deal with it when it comes. You know, I don't know what else to really do ahead of time. I think,
Any other event?
Yeah.
yeah, having a lifeguard's going to be real helpful with that
They
stuff.
can get a huge tent, that's not the budget, sorry.
Okay. Or do you think if lightning strike happens, we'd have to break down the canopies for any reason? We can leave those. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. And then brainstorm any last minute requirements, safety concerns, etc. Kind of did that. Anyone else have any thoughts on this party? I might have missed. How's everyone feel?
Good.
Good. Okay.
It's gonna be great. Yeah.
Good. I agree. All right. Excellent. Let's go ahead and move on.
Hey, George, quick question for the meeting. The speakers that we had, for Christmas, whatever the new year we had, are they on stands or they sit on the ground? They're stands now. Yep. Yeah, who's looking for them now? There is. My phone, here. Dave, what's over there?
Hey. Hey, George. Okay, yeah, we got George. Hey, George, by the way, while I have you on the phone, we're gonna need somebody to receive, bounce house guys who are gonna be dropping off the bounce house and the snow cone machine
I know I
Tuesday
sent
early.
it
They're
to
gonna
my
be
friend,
coming
I don't know if
tomorrow.
she actually signed up, but she said she
Can
felt
we
like monitor.
basically direct them to you, give them your number
Oh,
and
you
have them
did,
contact you when they get
email
here?
this morning reminding you about what you signed
Okay,
up?
then we're gonna do that. We want them to, you know the
I think it's
area
gonna be
of
mostly
the bounce house, correct?
The volunteers. I tried to vote some people in. They
So
tried
I
to
think
do
we're
it.
used to that,
I think
but
that
it's
people
gonna
can show up
be-
at the party and kind of say, hey, I want to do something.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I did at Christmas, all of a sudden we
It's
had
gonna be in that
10 people
space.
passing out food, and we only thought 3 were going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. Great, then we'll give them your number and I'll hook them up with you. All right, thanks, George.
It's Sign Up Genius. Let's see.
All right, thanks for doing that.
Get it done.
What was this morning?
Mine was I don't have my phone. My phone's
Something like that.
Or
recording.
down there.
And from silent to me. But it does say Danny's name on it. I guess.
Like I said, oh yeah, see, it came through.
You guys got the confirmations? Cool.
For the
For the volunteer?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I thought that was a really cool.
It looked like
yeah.
it came from Synergy, but it had his name at the
Yeah,
top.
so I didn't.
I didn't see it. It was, let's see, I got mine at 113.
Oh.
No, I got one sent to it too. So I was part of the cleanup crew. So,
Nice.
That's not.
I think we have a.
No, not that one. It just says reminder for 2024 summer pool party.
Makes you see the.
Yeah.
This one right here. Can you click on it?
On the top lot.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on to Tot Lot Community Rec Area Development. All right, so we'll start by reviewing the progress that we've already made. The current progress is that we have 2 vendors already with proposals and a third vendor who has already kind of proactively taken a look at our current tot lot and given us a just general projection on a playground we saw at a different property. That other property was Egret Landing, and we really love what they did there. The company that manufactured and installed that was called Miracle Playgrounds, and so I have a contact with this guy named Jack. We're gonna try and schedule to have him actually come back out and look at the area that's over there with us so that we can get a better idea of what we can do with that kind of space. And if we can maybe make adjustments to the type of setup he had initially sent us. Again, a lot of this is kind of exploratory, right? So we're gonna be moving to a different location and having a newer, larger, more accommodating play area. So it's gonna require that we sort of have many conversations with multiple vendors, and then we can compare actual true numbers with what we hope to be the final result. Because that's ultimately how we're gonna compare best, is knowing each vendor knows exactly where we're gonna be, how much we want to do there in that area, and what we want the end result to look like.
That structure that you sent, that's much bigger than the quotes that we already have.
Yeah,
I mean, it's awesome. It's very nice looking.
Yeah.
You're saying, I feel like it's going to be way different from those other ones.
it will be.
We've gotten some other feedback too. I've actually gotten feedback from Copperleaf, people who live in Copperleaf, and they had a similar situation like we had over here. They spent close to $50,000 for a set that ended up being smaller, and everybody hated it. So at the end of the day, we're just trying to make sure that we're doing all the due diligence that we can. If it costs a little bit more, okay, but just really figuring out what that unit of value that we're getting, to make sure that we're actually going to get it versus putting bad money to just say that we did something and then it ends up being subpar or just a waste of money.
No, yeah, I totally agree. Because those other ones look like, for like 3 to 5 year olds would have been good, but anything older.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Our vision is to, use that area, a part of that area behind the courts to create an area for families of, and kids of all ages, not just 3 to 5 year olds. And hopefully that becomes a more social area over there for the community. Michael, I did email you a kind of a snapshot that Danny made of, like playground, like just an aerial shot, and then if we ever did add a basketball court, kind of like where that would be.
Yeah, it's basically just we blocked out the space that we thought would be utilized. And so that's where we're at right now. What were you saying?
Unfortunately, I think it was like months away because we didn't know what kind of money we have until the reserve study is done.
Yes, and what I was
Once
told.
the reserve study is done, they give us an idea of what projects we can afford and what timetable.
Now, maybe you can confirm this, but I believe once we get the reserve study, it's the first draft. Am I correct? It's not going to be the final reserve study, because then we can.
No.
There's going to be a conversation about, all right, hey, can we do?
Yeah, Courtney said that she got all the information that this company wanted to get done. We're not happy with the company. Probably will not use the same company next year
Okay.
because they're slow. But they have everything and they promise to get it to us as soon as they could, quote unquote, whatever that means. So once you get that number, we can find out what we gotta do. Is it this area, that area, this area? There's other things other than the playground that we've gotta do here too.
Yeah.
Have to be up to snuff, like our security and stuff like that, but.
And I was hearing, am I correct, around end of July, potentially, this thing is gonna be back? Okay.
That's what I heard.
So that gives us about a month, and ultimately what we would need to do as a committee, our work is to get numbers, solid numbers, about what we think it's actually gonna cost us to do what we want over there for our community, right? And that we will present to the board at that board meeting, whenever it gets rescheduled, the one that's gonna actually present the reserve study that came back. So in that time, you know, from now till then, we gotta schedule some visits from contractors and vendors. We've gotta get those proposals, collect those, put them, gather them neatly into some sort of spreadsheet, and then put together a little presentation. That's gonna be a bit of work, but I think,
A nice little sketch would be nice in that area.
yeah, even the fact that they've sent like 3D renderings, that would be really helpful in the presentation. Can even ask them if they would be willing to mock up that 3D rendering for us on the actual lot area. This is just a matter of us communicating well with each one of these vendors so that we can get that information in a timely manner. But we're gonna need to kind of break this up as a group to communicate, kind of split up maybe one person per vendor, just so it's like not landing all on, you know, anyone's shoulders, and also we can kind of cover more ground quickly. So with the top lot community record development, you know, and on top of this, by the way, you know, Brian's been doing a lot of work looking into like the basketball court that we would get done over there. The vendor, do we know yet if we can have them on schedule for, say, a visit?
Yes, we can get them out here.
Okay.
I don't have them scheduled yet,
No, okay.
but a lot of these places don't want to come out here. They're just looking at aerial shots, you know, and like saying, oh, you can do this, you can do this. But, you know, I'm sure they get inquiries all the time. So, yeah, you know, it may be hard to get a lot of people out here on site, but I think a few that are local we can get, but it may not, maybe it's not our preferred vendor that we want to use
Okay.
ultimately.
I gotcha. With the ones that just say it's enough to see it as an aerial view, I mean, can we get enough information back from that? Is that they're confident that they can just get us a proposal from just looking at an aerial view?
Yeah, I mean, because they have their price per material. I mean, you know, when they actually get here, if they think that they need to add more base, like more rock underneath, you know, when they're building that subsurface, I mean, they kind of put in like, okay, if we need to add this much more, then this is how much it's going to be.
Okay.
So they think they're giving us a good idea. The only thing they're not going to really give us is, I don't think they're going to give us a whole 3D rendering.
Okay.
Yeah, because that does cost, it does take someone with at least some skill. I mean, unless we use like one of those core builders like we were using.
Yeah.
But,
I think with basketball court, that's easy enough.
Yeah.
We can do that. I was just thinking with the playground, you're seeing all the features from different angles,
right.
which helps get a better idea before it's actually installed.
Yeah, I think with the playground, we'll just see if the playground company can do that with
Yeah.
us. Because what I've been finding out is you have these people that do that, and you have some people that are just the contractors, and they want you to have all the architectural plans ready and have all that, which that would cost money on the front end, which we're not spending right now. So we are limited to a degree of how much we can do on that.
I would also think drainage issues could be something they need to look at, and the soil testing to test the compactness of it. And
Yeah, I mean,
things like
that
You can't
is.
just put it anywhere.
No, but my wife actually is an architect, so she's already figured out, like, I had that same concern, and I mentioned that to her, and she's like, oh yeah, just grade it in certain ways, and it'll naturally drain. On something like a flat
Well,
surface, like
It might drain, our yard doesn't drain worth a hoot.
yeah,
The puddles just sit and the plants,
right.
yeah,
Well,
it's a fungus and it's.
if you walk back there,
bad soil.
it's relatively flat, you know, back there. So again, you just got to grade the court, and again, in multiple. Apparently, what she was saying is in multiple different directions, you know, to accomplish that. So there is the people that do this do know that piece of it. It's not too complex.
Okay. All right, that's cool. I wanted to ask, by the way, is anyone an Excel expert here? Or like,
I mean, I use Excel every day
Yeah.
at work. What kind
So-
of expertise do you want?
so my expert.
I didn't want to jump in
level
now.
would be
I use
It
it
sounds
every day too,
anyone
but
who knows how to use Excel is what I mean.
I mean, like I can't build macros very easily or something, but I mean, just plugging in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about just a spreadsheet. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Would you be able to help us with that? Because I've been doing it. It takes me so long to just get it set up and all that. But you know how to do the formulas and all that stuff. So that would be fantastic. I would love to just create one for these, different projects. So like tot lot, basketball court.
You
like-
just want different tabs.
Exactly.
In the workbook?
Yeah. So it
Okay.
would be like the vendor, and then like it would be the specs that we need information back on, right? So it would be like, what does the equipment itself cost? Maybe install date, if there's costs for like shipments, those things. And then we can compare each vendor
Yeah.
side by side.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that's how we would like to present, and then we can kind of highlight who is our preferred vendor and piece of equipment. That's the one that we kind of highlight in the presentation, and I think ultimately that'll be the best way to communicate to the board and the neighborhood the homework we've done and why we are choosing this vendor to recommend to the board.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
And again, the court right now is obviously, that's not a current amenity, so we're not,
Understood. Yes, that is true.
I mean, it'd be awesome, but, there are some other things that need to happen first, but we want to make sure that we have the master plan.
Yes.
That if you put the tot lot over there, you're not interfering with any other future thing that we're thinking about.
Exactly. Yes.
Is there any scrap value to the old set, or is it
Most
just
of it the same thing.
That's a great question.
Just-
I'm
goes to the dumpster?
just gonna write that down.
I think we were just gonna tear it down. Yeah.
I don't know
and
if
dump
it
it.
was aluminum or steel, someone's
We can-
certain
You
metal.
can see if they'll give us something.
Yeah, I mean,
Water
We'd have to
fixture
just
there.
disassemble it first.
Water fixture there with some benches and shade trees and things like that, so people come out. I
Yeah.
don't think they use the picnic tables very much, but they would over here.
Would it be like just kind of like a lake sitting area, like a viewing area, or is it just?
A little water feature.
Oh, okay.
We have like a fountain, something like that.
for here,
Yeah.
I just thought the easiest thing would just be clear the sand out and put 2 cornhole sets right there.
Do the permanent ones like they did what is it called?
Yeah, you could easily build a couple, just 2 courts right there. It'd be very simple.
But you could do a lot of things. You could do tables with a couple of umbrellas. I mean, you could do
Sure.
a lot of different things over there.
You gotta make it look attractive.
Yeah.
And
Just
inviting.
put some turf down.
A little playhouse
Where are
for
you?
kids.
Okay, so with the top lot, so that's kind of the progress we've made, is just kind of like brainstorming and envisioning what we want, having a couple of initial conversations, but we do need to start collecting the data. So I want to go over the short-term, mid-term, long-term goals with this. Playground design and placement, I think we're all sort of aligned on placement being in that area with the big vision of it being a community rec area. The playground design is going to vary. It's going to really depend on the costs and how accommodating the actual overall unit is. We want to make sure that it does accommodate the youngest, who kids are walking, to like older, middle school, up to even like if I have a swing set that can, an adult can even sit on, would be nice. So I like having maybe 2 bigger swings with like 2 infant swings, with the leg holes. So those things we want to consider.
Yeah. And having some shade. I mean, I think if we put it over that area, we'll have some natural shade, but incorporating some shade into that.
Yeah, so
Are we gonna do the sunshades, like the one that you sent?
it's worth getting quotes on.
Getting information.
Yeah, yeah, and again, these are going to be long-term investments that are going to add significant value to the community.
And we want to do it right, because again, the worst thing that you can do is try to go too cheap and then it ends up costing you. And you
Yeah.
got to spend that money again,
Oh,
to get
no,
it fixed.
definitely. Those
So,
other structures, I was like, man, these are tiny.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already kind of expensive, but
Yeah.
they were tiny.
and we'd like that. I mean, ultimately, it would be awesome is to have a seating area for, parents, or another picnic area, like kind of how we have over by the lake over there, something like that, where, you could have if someone wanted to have a birthday party and, utilize that space. I mean, or just,
Alright,
you know, like
alright.
kids, an area where you can watch the kids play on the playground, or you could be watching the kids play on the basketball court, you know, so that would be nice too if we can, but we'll see.
Yeah, definitely a couple more benches, right? There's
Yeah.
like one or two out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Might be that we just move those. I
Like
don't
you
know
said,
how often those are.
formulate your master plan.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, sunshade definitely we're gonna consider, lighting and electricity, that's gonna come about, I think, when we actually talk to a contractor for the basketball courts. Hopefully we can kind of tie in tennis court lighting, electricity to the basketball court. And then consider lighting actually like somewhat of the top area. I don't know if that's necessary or not, maybe at some point when it's dark, you close it down, but something to think about.
We could get away with walkage because it's gonna be close enough to the walkways, and if you get just, there's a lot of ways you can do it, but you could get some lighting just along the walkway that kind of illuminates that area
Right.
naturally, because, yeah, kids aren't gonna be playing out there pitch black.
Right.
At least the teenagers might decide to, but,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a different story.
Tennis, pickleball court resurfacing, we've already had this conversation with
Yeah.
somebody, and now it's just a matter of, what's that's gonna cost, and can we offset that cost by doing it alongside, say, a basketball court installation, right? So if you're gonna use the same surfacing area of the court, then you can kind of get it all done at the same time. And then basketball court installation, schedule those visits from the contractors and then create our presentation. I say we should really have a goal of 1 month from today to get this presentation in order with the right fixed information and numbers. Okay.
Basketball court too, just so you guys know, like Eager Landing, I don't know, we can send photos out if we haven't already to everybody.
We did, we can do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we had been having those thoughts, and then Danielle, who wasn't able to make it tonight, her parents lived there, and literally everything that Danny and I had been thinking of, they had already done. Like the basketball court, close to the playground, close to the tennis courts, and it just is awesome.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
anybody can get in there to go check it out too. It's not a gated community, so.
Where is it at?
Where is it?
I know
Jupiter.
how to get in the community, but which way do you go once you get in?
I haven't been in there yet. I've just seen the photos.
What's the community's called?
Egret Landing.
Egret Landing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the bird.
So have you already received or gotten quotes on a court?
Yeah. I mean, if we do, I'm still waiting to get something good on a post-tension concrete court. You know, that's going to be the longest standing. I believe it's concrete, but the type of installation, so it lasts without worrying about cracking too much. If we do asphalt with lighting and everything, getting a nice big court, 4 hoops, you know, 2 on other ends with a little bump out, you know, for they can keep it 6 or 7 feet for smaller kids,
Mhm.
and then you know it's like a modified full court with extra width, and then you know smaller hoops on the other side. With lighting, yeah, it'd probably be around 60,000, 67 if you do asphalt.
Is that the best surface or?
I think that, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what our tennis
Yeah.
courts are. I mean, they're gonna last for a certain period of time, you know, I mean, anything like that will need some maintenance. It is a little softer on the joints, and if somebody was to hit their
Asphalt.
head versus concrete. But, you know, it's just, I wanna get another one with the proper type of concrete installation is an idea, but it's probably gonna be like $30,000 more if you do concrete, is my guess. It's probably gonna be $100,000.
And then we would have to resurface separately on that.
Yeah.
The tennis court.
And if a concrete court breaks, like if it starts to crack, it's significantly more expensive to fix. So if you do post tension though, then it's going to be more expensive on the front end. So if you do a cost analysis, they're about over the longevity, they're close to the same cost. So I think we should, if our courts are on the tennis court are already asphalt, it's probably just best to keep the basketball court asphalt.
Yeah.
And then just make sure we keep up with the maintenance so that when it does need it, if it's installed properly with the amount of usage in a community like ours, I think it's good. last for quite a while.
Okay, that sounds good.
Run home.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
want your numbers, if you want your numbers in a month, you gotta sign people to do some things now.
I have the court numbers already, so I have that for, you know,
So
with.
what you need is people.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever you got that
Three
you wanna
vendors?
send me to start accumulating the spreadsheet, you can just
yes.
send me.
I will, and actually I'll send you one spreadsheet I did for landscaping
Yeah.
vendors, so you can see kind of how I played it, but like,
Email.
I probably did much
Yeah,
more than
I'll
I
just
needed
send
to,
it to
you can help me simplify, so we can like keep the information strict to like what we're actually looking at and what we're working
How
on.
to compare it,
Yeah.
okay,
Like the
yeah,
gym work.
okay,
And,
bye
We'll
guys.
see
I
you
thought I'd
Saturday.
seen the rendering.
This is a very
Yes,
ambitious
so-
goal.
So if you have 2 vendors, you need 3 volunteers, and go.
Correct.
Do you
Yeah.
want to-
I've got one from Sport Court, they're the big one, they do the tiles, are crazy, they're very expensive.
Trying to continue
Okay,
with
yeah,
the basketball angle, and then the 3 playground people, get 3 people to do the playground.
yeah, so we definitely wanna.
Courtney's done a lot of footwork already on this. Contacting people, getting bids and stuff, right?
For what, playground?
Like, she had.
Correct, I think the
And then
initial
out
2
of that,
was,
right.
was through her, and the 3rd came from our sort of research on Ebert Landing. We also got a 4th, it's more of an example, it's
Yeah, that would
a
be-
4th company, but I believe the install was a major project than what we're looking to do, which is more like a Kiwanis type playground, which we're not looking to do.
Somebody wonder?
Yeah, so, Tot Lot and that area, so really, we're looking at the 3 segments, tennis court, playground, basketball court. Brian's on basketball court, we have 3, we have 2 proposals and a 3rd that needs to come out and look at that area. I think what we need to do is go back to the other 2 and let them know ultimately what we want, even if it's gonna be more. We need to let them know, we need a bigger lot, we need it in a different area, can you help us understand what that would cost?
Do you have that
Compare apples
criteria,
to
you have
apples.
a criteria of what you want? Do you have that? Or is it a question of them telling you what they have, and you go like, yeah, I like that?
I mean,
So I've looked at like a million different, like, I can't even tell you how many different prices. And those sets, they do have, you know, age ranges of what they can cover. And then, but when you add in other single elements like swings or other things, that also helps expand the age range of usability.
now, is it smarter to maybe go smaller on the core unit and go with independent accessories?
I think what's better is to find the right contractor that will install it and then shop out the actual set itself, because you can find places like that set that they have at Egret, like that guy sends an email, said $100,000, but I've seen that same set sell for 40 to 46, you know, on these sales that they run. So I think we should be, you know, we may need to pay somebody to do all the work, you know, to say like, okay, this is what you can do, and then we can almost hire the contractors to do it potentially. We probably save ourselves a lot of money. You know, so we still get it done correctly, but just say like, okay, here's the plans, and we can actually shop that out to
So if you-
contractors.
If you give a manufacturer, one of these, an entity, you say there's 3 or maybe 4 entities, one to each person, they're all saying different things. I don't know if that's a good idea. I think it's like one person has to collect all that information and have an idea of what we want, and get this, ask each one of the companies, this is what we want, this is what we want, this is what we want. And they come back with, to the board with, here are 3 companies to propose. Otherwise, you talk to them and says, I want this.
Yeah.
I talk to one and says, we want
It's
this.
a good point. What he's saying is that, you know, we need to determine what do we
Centralize.
want as our final
Yeah.
unit.
Yeah.
So, do we want one big slide, one little slide? Do we
Yeah.
want a climbing feature? Do we want a, I don't know, like a spinning thing? Whatever, we have to determine what do we want involved.
Dan, I think we're gonna need to talk to one of these people that do it professionally and
And
get
come up
a
with a list.
consultation.
So I
on
think,
what they can-
I think with Miracle Playground, we schedule, have them come out,
Yes.
we meet with Courtney, you can come join us as well, and we have him look at the area we're looking at, knowing what we already have kind of shared with him, and say, hey, what can we do here, and what are our alternative options? So if I think we'll use him as the guide.
Yeah.
And then once we know kind of the main features, we can kind of go to these other vendors and say, hey to them, hey, we need a new
Do
proposal.
something similar like.
Yeah, like this. Good
So
point.
what was it Courtney picked up? You said she already has talked to several.
So the Playground 360 and CoreCat, did you see those two proposals? I've shared those, they're in the drive too. I'm gonna reshare this stuff,
Okay, all right.
to bring everybody back up to speed.
Yeah.
But those initial companies, she had already got proposals on, but they were looking at this area. They were looking at
Oh, so-
sort of redoing,
So that's sort of,
yeah.
And I think our fear is if we just were to replace this one for one, is it just gonna sit
Yeah.
there and not get
Yeah.
used? You know, I mean, the whole idea is if we're gonna replace it, which it needs to be fixed or replaced, let's do it right so it actually does get usage.
Yeah.
Well, this one's small, but it does have a lot of different, like climbing and
Oh,
lots of different
The
stuff on
normal
it.
price for this thing is $40,000 if you don't get it on sale. I mean, all of this playground equipment is incredibly expensive.
Crazy.
And it's only gotten more expensive post-COVID. But again, a lot of these companies will run sales on this, so we have to be, I think, okay, like knowing what we want, because these places are pulling from all, like, it's not like there's just like they're making their custom playgrounds. I mean, they're getting them from places. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, so
Okay, so that's what we're gonna play. We're gonna schedule a meeting with
one guy
this gentleman.
formulate kind of like a blueprint, so to speak.
Yes.
exactly.
And then meet with the individual people.
Yes, and then we may have to seek out an extra company too, just to say, hey, we need more. This is a costly endeavor, so we're gonna have to have more vendors
Well,
than we currently
We
do.
may, we need an engineer, to come out too.
Yeah.
And so,
Okay. All right. Let's move on to gym enhancement. Yes. So the progress we have made is we've had two sort of ad hoc gym committee meetings. One of them, we actually walked in our gym and considered what might be an expansion into the office that is right across from Courtney's office. And with that, we were able to put together a just basic first draft on a floor plan that would include that space. Should we say knock out the wall there, open it up for access point, and then we would just kind of lock the door, or maybe make it an access point depending on the equipment that's in there. But it would give us a little bit more space to incorporate more equipment, open up the room a little bit, and I think ultimately it's just going to make it a more user-friendly space for those who want to get a good workout.
and this thought process has been informed by a lot of it by the big survey that we did. We got a lot of responses. A lot of those things that came back was small, needs more space, things like that. Obviously, there's only so much we can do unless you want to spend $1 million, which we know we don't want to do that. So yeah, that wall is not load bearing, so it
It's
could
not
be
load bearing?
no. So it could be expanded into, and we do have a couple sample layouts of how that affects the flow of the gym, and it's actually really nice.
Yeah.
As far as how that helps.
So I will share that as well with everyone. The initial floor plan came from our current vendor that we're considering and working with. This was a connection through two of our committee members, Billy and Carrie, who are both fitness trainers. They know this world. They've been helping us tremendously in sort of understanding the space, what equipment we have access to. We were talking about kind of our desired equipment. A lot of what came back in the survey was interactive, sort of personalized fitness equipment, like the Peloton devices. So what we are looking at, and have already looked at, is what would it take to get 2 Peloton bikes in our gym with a subscription, so that anybody who can get on that bike and have a class, do a spinning class using that device. It was one of the preferred items that people wanted. So
We've also gotten feedback from communities that have installed that, and
Right.
some are their most
popular
popular
devices,
and appreciated
Real.
benefits
Yeah.
or items.
So, and we can get used bike and install the subscription or access the subscription using that used device, so we can actually get it for a lot less, kind of aftermarket, something that's barely used.
There's some from one, well, in Atlanta, for $500.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
that's,
People use it for
There's
toes
deals.
back.
yeah, so that's just,
People are trying to get rid of them.
Yeah.
and the floor plan you'll see kind of has like a cardio row, on that sort of already cardio wall that's there, but we can incorporate more cardio equipment, than we've already allocated space for. We can, I think, utilize the space better according to, Billy and Carrie, which is great. We were also looking at getting more strength training equipment in there, something like a Smith machine, which would be a safer alternative to just a bench press, because it's a fixed bar that you can lock. So for anyone who's maybe a little bit concerned about dropping the bar on them, that's a safety device that will help in that
Some people
regard.
go there when nobody's in there.
Right, exactly. So I think that would be a really great device. It also seems like it's something people want. I personally would love to see that in there. The free weights, and the benches, as of right now on the floor plan, they've kind of been moved into what would be that, in order to sort of extended space, but we're now considering maybe that's not the best location, because we're gonna need a bench also for, let's say, either a dual cable machine, which we're also looking at too, so like a really nice one, and then that Smith machine. So we're gonna have benches, that are also already gonna be utilized in the main space. So we still have some work to do in terms of figuring out what's the best layout. But in terms of looking at equipment, we've got some proposals, and it's exciting to kind of see like what we can get our hands on, and what it might look like in that actual space, kind of the bird's eye view of that. So that's where we're at in terms of the progress.
What's currently in that office right now?
It's
George's office.
It's George's office. I think he has his lunch there. Like, I don't want to speak for George, but like,
He
it's
uses it.
Bikes for like
Yeah.
He stores stuff, he stores equipment that he can't store out there, that kind of stuff.
yeah.
And a subscription.
I think it was
there.
it was designated for another property manager or assistant property
Yeah,
manager
that's
at one
pretty
point.
cool.
So that was initially what the offices were for. So, you know, this is our sort of visionary take on what can we do to make the gym space better for our community. And I think expanding and having more space is going to be a huge benefit.
And just better, like,
Yeah.
more equipment that people will use, you know,
Yeah.
that you're used to seeing. And just, I mean, Dan and I said from the very onset, this isn't going to be a place that, you know, you're trying to do Olympic lifting or anything like that. But, you know, we gotta cater to the people that are casual and just want to get a nice cardio thing in, and then also have enough strength stuff that people can get a legitimate workout.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to have a total gym in there, home gym, you know, with everything, all the accessories and everything on it. I think that'd be pretty neat.
Yeah.
Have something like that.
Yeah.
The free weights we already have, dumbbells we have.
The dual cable machine that Billy and Carrie found for us looks
Yeah.
amazing, and it's the one that I've seen that Powerhouse Fitness has, and you can get a good weight stack on there for
Yeah,
anybody at any level could probably get a great workout on.
But you're talking about like a functional,
like a function, I
full
have
functional trainer with.
I have a home gym in my garage. It's not like a complete home gym, but you know, it's got pull-up bar.
I know what you're
it's
talking
got
about,
a
the
bench.
rack, the kind of 4 racks.
Yeah, it's got a bench. I mean, you can do bench, deadlifts, all that kind of stuff. It's got you can put the weights in the back. You can put the different accessories for like the tricep ropes, pull down, the bar pull down, extensions, all that. Like
So
something like
I
that,
have
like a
a-
home gym.
But
Yeah.
we've looked at the.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Billy and Carrie's concerns were that it's not going to hold up to a lot of usage, but maybe that's up for debate.
I think the other concern with those two is that they are a more complex
Yeah.
device, right? So somebody who's not an avid user of the gym might feel overwhelmed by that type of equipment.
Yeah,
When we have more like, this is very specific for its purpose, and different versions of that throughout, it just
Right.
makes it easier for somebody to get a circuit workout in, and also you can kind of share equipment. So two people might want to use that functional space, and it has the ability to cover all this ground, but only one person's taking it up. You
Yeah.
know? So could be the challenge. So what we have with our initial proposal, we want to go to our current gym maintenance vendor, who has also provided us with equipment, and ask them to give us a proposal themselves And then even get a third vendor in here if we can to just have that apples to apples comparison. You know, Linda can help us with another spreadsheet on that, but this is ultimately gonna help us, again, create another presentation just for our gym that we can present to the board, and that become part of the adjustment to say the review study, the reserve study.
Yeah, and Carrie in particular, and they have a connection, so we're still working on getting a few more independent quotes, and they're not financially connected to any of these companies either, so we didn't make sure of that. But we seem to be getting a better pricing structure. Again, we won't talk about that exactly because we want to be fair to everybody, but I think we'd be potentially getting a lot of great equipment for maybe a price that would otherwise potentially be unattainable.
Yeah. So, and again, I'll share this stuff with you, but it is exciting to kind of see what's possible with some of the equipment that we have now and what we could have. So it's all good, and I think all of that stuff is going to help energize the conversation when we have it with the board and during that meeting. So the other thing too is I think we have one floor plan. I'd like to kind of like rearrange and see what another view, another take might look like for that space. Have multiple versions of floor plans to consider when we're sort of presenting as well. And that'll come, I think, when we have these other vendors do their proposals too. We can actually let them sort of lay out what they think would be the best floor plan for us based on their expertise, their perspective.
Yeah, we just plan on listing like, okay, this is what we plan to have in there, and then see what they come up with. And
Right, we want 2 treadmills, we're gonna keep 1 elliptical, we'd like to have a row machine, like these are the things that we would love to get in here. Let us know what's possible and what are the brands or types of equipment that you would offer. Yeah, and go from there. Okay, anyone have any thoughts, questions on gym enhancement at this point? The other thing too is we wanna get numbers on the construction portion, right?
We have those. We have between 2,000 and 3,000 to open.
George can do some of that, he can knock it down.
Yeah, if he wants to do
That's
that.
great. A lot of people can do
Yeah,
Do you
so
think
we can,
that-
we can grab a handful of volunteers that can knock that down.
Okay.
We've all knocked up, I've knocked down walls in my house and, you know, I'm sure we got plenty of handymen that are in there.
We just need to be
And-
careful